This is Sessions with Sara Cate and Ashley, a podcast that explores the feelings, emotions, and experiences of what it means to be human in this world. This podcast is intended for educational purposes only and is not meant to replace therapeutic services of any kind. Please refer to the list of references if you need support.
And before you dive in, please like, subscribe, comment, share with anyone you think might also connect with today's session. Our goal is to reach as many people as possible, and we are endlessly grateful for your continued support. So, let's get to it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sessions with Sara Cate and Ashley. I am Sara Cate.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we are going to be talking kind of a little bit of a piggyback. We fell off of our last episode, just around not looking at our triggers or maybe some of our mental health stuff as necessarily the burden that the world paints it to be, to have kind of a different context or relationship to it. So we're going to kind of move a little bit further into that, but I'll let Ashley kind of say more.
Say more.
More.
So, we're going to talk about feelings.
Oh, shocker alert.
But
so surprised.
Yeah. So we're going to essentially talk about like permission to feel, not having to be sorry for the way you feel. Maybe there can be some practice around how we express, the way we express the things we say, not apologizing for the way we feel. And this is something that's like very like near and dear to my heart, because I grew up as the quote dramatic one. And I have big feelings. Like, it's true.
Right. You're a big feeler.
Yes. I'm not like, from a very young age, I knew that also. And I can remember being like grade school age, trying to figure out why people weren't expressing what I was feeling, right? Like, I can remember being like, I can't be the only person in this room, in my little second grade room, feeling this way, because my teacher was kind of scary.
Had a few of those.
Wasn't like a warm welcoming. Turns out like lovely, and like I ended up really liking her towards the end of school, but like not warm welcoming that you would want. I like gave myself hives, you know? But anyways, regardless,
That little Ashley.
Well, yes, it was yeah. But I can remember feeling like this person just screamed at us. How is nobody else affected by this? Right?
Yeah. How are you not shook?
Actually, like what's happening, right? And that like went up until my whole life, right?
Yeah.
And people, when I hear people call other people dramatic, I still to this day get a very visceral reaction, and I want to like be the protector and like beat that other person up. Like quite literally, I want to like hit them. Because I know what that did to me. And it's like, no. Yeah. I'm just able to have some feelings, right? Like, and that's okay. Had I had somebody to like guide me into how to express them, how to determine in my body what was going on, and that I didn't need to feel all this shame and try to suppress it, because that's what happened. Is I just learned that like, okay, I can't express. I don't have a place to tell somebody how I feel, because it is not important. And in my relationships to this day, I still struggle with that, being able to say, the way you said that made me feel this way. I just would rather be quiet and take it and not say anything about it. And so like the consequences are real, right? Like this has traveled with me for forever or for my whole life. And I think that, I just sent somebody a text yesterday that said like, you never have to apologize for the way you feel. And I read it and I was like, isn't that something, Ashley? Handing out advice for.
Here, I'll give you a spoonful and me a spoonful at the same time.
Yeah, because it's
Totally.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
real. It is.
Yeah.
I had I had a similar experience where this really young, angsty teenage part of me came out, very unmanaged and slightly reckless with her words. And they're an older version of me. I actually reached out to my partner afterwards and I was like, I am not impressed with how I just reacted, right? And how I reacted. And, he was able to say, well, was that what was happening? Right. And I said, well, yeah, that's what was happening. And he was like, well, you can apologize for the way that maybe you reacted, but we don't apologize for how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I had to kind of, I was like, well, it's very insightful of you yet again. But B,
Why'd I call you?
yeah, let me get off my high horse real quick. Um, but like this like sense of, okay, I can still feel upset, disrupted,
Mhm.
angry, scared, whatever it was in that moment that I was feeling, and have my feelings be separate from how I feel like I maybe responded poorly.
Yeah.
Or but like at some point that young teenage angsty version of me who never got to push back and who felt like she wasn't allowed to be in control of situations, like she shot out because sometimes she's unmanaged and
Right.
doesn't know how to appropriately emote or express. And so
Mhm.
there is that kind of widening of acceptance that we can start to build and create for these parts of ourselves that feel something really deeply.
Yeah.
Because if we learn to honor them and acknowledge them, they often don't have to be so reactive. They don't
Yeah.
have to be so volatile
Mhm.
because they're not trying to burst out of us
Mhm.
where we're suppressing them or repressing
Mhm.
them,
Mhm.
and so we can give more room to them in spaces that feel safe, like with the people in our lives we can emote to or name or acknowledge our feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. It's like that like bursting out image, like,
Yeah,
have you ever tried to like tell a toddler that they couldn't move for an hour? Like, good
right.
luck, right? Like, what are you going to do? Hold them down? Like, it's only
Totally.
going to get bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, we just have to be able to know. It's literally exactly what we talked about in the last episode of if we can learn how to identify these things within ourselves, we're going to know how to better take care of ourselves, right? Sarah Cate was able to identify like, okay, now I know that that is exactly how I was feeling. And the next time, I just want to react in a different way. Now she has so much more to work with for the next time it happens because that person is going to want to come out again at some point. She's moving from such a different base of support within
Yes.
herself that she's going to be able
Mhm.
to make that be her reality in that next moment.
Totally.
And like,
Totally. I think, well, and I like what you're saying is that you're moving from a different foundation,
yeah.
right? Like I think, and I was saying to Ashley, I what I was able to also recognize was that it wasn't that necessarily that behavior change, that angsty teenager still came out, but
Mhm.
I also wasn't in the business to shame her as well.
Yes.
Like the world will shame her for having a potty mouth and being really loud and rambunctious. And I also wasn't contributing to that. I was kind of like, okay, we felt what we felt
Mhm.
and we can be more articulate at
Yeah.
some juncture, but like I'm not going to deny what the felt sense of that experience was underneath how then I responded.
Right.
Right. And like that was the change for me. It wasn't that necessarily the behavior changed, but it was that I viewed what my feelings were as valid alongside acknowledging that the behavior wasn't something that is aligned really with who I am now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh, great.
Well, because I want to tie this. I didn't tell her. But it's such a good example. And so like talk about like take it a little bit further and talk about
Yeah.
the changes you felt in like your physical body of
Yes.
like what that change and like not feeling the significant shame
Mhm. Mhm.
Like what that felt like to be free of that in your body in that moment.
So how I experience shame is like the sense of dread or doom, meaning like I
Mm.
feel my stomach drop and like it feels like it's hollow and it's never ending. It's endless.
Mhm.
It's a black hole. So it feels really untethered. It feels really unsafe because it feels like there's no ground. Right.
Mhm.
And it's just, I actually feel the physical sensation of everything moving down and that I can't stop it. Right.
Mhm.
Um, and what I felt was I could feel the frustration and the irritation as a constriction in my chest, but
Mhm.
I didn't feel that doom that now
Mm.
I'm screwed.
That
Right.
like empty bottom, there's
Yes.
nothing there. Yeah.
But I had to sit with, I feel really angsty. I feel really angry. But I
Mhm.
think in having done somatic work now for a good bit of time, I have learned how to be my own container in a way.
Mhm.
Right. And so I now am the stopgap in my body for that shame. Right. I know my worth, my value, who I am is not dependent upon all of these things. That doesn't mean that I don't still act out of pocket. That doesn't mean that I don't still get triggered and like become reactive. But
Mhm.
what happens after that has now changed because that stopping apologizing for what I feel
Mhm.
has become different because while I can still work on honing the behaviors and changing that, I now don't feel then the angst and the shame.
Yeah.
Like I've learned how to kind of accept to some degree, and Ashley and I have had many conversations about this, but accept these parts of myself that are still wounded, these parts of myself that are still, and this is a daily fucking battle.
Yeah.
This is, I had the immediate impulse to go into shame.
Mhm.
And then I reached out to my safe person and he was able to support me and remind me, nope, what
Mhm.
you feel is valid. And I was like, you're right. Okay. What I do feel is valid. I'm not going to negate that. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to apologize for feeling emotional, like you said, about something that just happened.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think tracking those physical sensations in my body is such a way for all of us in your bodies to be able to really start to acknowledge how to change your dynamic to something
Yeah.
rather than the story,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you can locate shame, if you can locate angst, anger, frustration in your body, you can then start to take care of
Mhm.
them in a different way and to slow maybe the experience of them down, right? Like I was able to slow the experience of shame down enough to kind of like, okay, hold on, I don't need to go to shame for this.
Right.
Not saying I don't go to shame.
Right, right,
Do.
right. Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
valid.
So you said something very important. So maybe like write this down on a sticky note for yourself or something. Um, because
I I need that. I need the reminders.
because you said I am now the stop gate in my body for shame.
Mhm.
Like talk about agency, Sarah Cate.
Agency.
Like that is the point. Like
Yeah.
the we're the one who's supposed to be in our life, right? Like we are the one who is available, right? When we take these steps to learn who we are and to like allow our body this permission to feel, allow our body to be curious, allow ourselves to show up and learn how to trust ourselves. This
Mhm.
is the point right here. Like Sarah Cate said, like she's never going to just never be triggered again, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like she's never going to feel shame again, but she is now in control in the sense that it's not like she just immediately like turns it off and it's gone, but she's in control because she knows exactly what to do to support herself
Mhm.
through it.
Right.
And
And
like,
like that is actually more, in my opinion, this is deeply, deeply my opinion. But that to me is more indicative of our healing processes is that we can allow these
mhm,
wounded parts of ourselves to exist and still feel whole in ourselves in the sense that like I I feel really positive or supportive of myself in these ways. And these are wounds that I still have to deeply take care of. And sometimes I don't act the way that I want to, or I don't feel the way that I want to. And that still is a part of me.
Yep. Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh God. Well, this could be a whole other, maybe it will be another session
We'll write it down.
topic of, because it's so, I don't know. It's just so wild to me, the messages we get around healing, right? That like
God.
that wholeness means that we have like literally dropped part of ourselves. Which
Yes.
when
We've
you
let
think of,
go.
yes, like when you think of an imagery with that, like a whole circle,
Mm-hmm.
you just like drop part of that out, that's not whole. Like
Mm-mm.
that's not even
Mm-mm.
in like the most simplest way.
Mm-hmm.
You no
Mm-hmm.
longer have a whole circle,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. And like that we have to cut these parts off or leave them behind. And
yeah,
now, mind you, can we learn how to view them differently? Can we
yes,
can
of
we
course,
integrate them
yes,
differently? Sure. But to
yes.
like think that we're actually removing
Hmm.
what can actually be wisdom sources for
Hmm.
us too, to be like, I don't, maybe cutting them off, this will definitely have to be another episode, but like maybe cutting those pieces off is what actually hinders us
Hmm.
from making the changes or feeling the changes that we want to feel
Right.
in life, because we're not pulling from that wisdom that we now have.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly,
You
Sara
got
Cate.
you got a card over there for us or
I
what?
sure do. Okay, so this one is from, so I think we've only actually used this deck maybe one other time.
Yeah.
But it's from the Gentle Tarot.
Oh,
Again,
our
linked in the show
angel.
notes. And
Love her.
I pulled the Six of Thunder, and the illustrations on these
Oh, I
cards are just
love
like,
this card.
oh, Sara Cate loves this card. Well,
This is such a special one.
okay, so, oh, all right, let me just stop drooling over it and go on. Um, okay. I invite movement into my life. I travel safely from unsettled waters into clarity.
Ah.
Yeah.
On a whale. Come on.
Six of Thunder brings our attention to movement and embracing internal processes that come with change. Also known as a travel card, the Six of Thunder may introduce ideas or encourage plans for changing your space, taking a trip, or entering a new frame of mind. Similar to the Rider Waite Smith version of this card, where a figure is ferried from unsettled waters to a clearer, more serene scene,
Mm-hmm.
here our dear heart is ferried not on a boat, but on a humpback whale, reminding us that we are supported and not alone in this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Feel the solace and power of this massive, majestic, finned relative as you glide through the moonlight into new waters.
Oh,
Ride the tides and come out on the other side to enter new reality, more directly guided by your truth. If you need extra ease, let the calm, confident gaze of the whale lead you into gentle breath. You are sharing the same heartbeat. Allow the energy of the full moon to guide you into expansion. In the six, you have a chance to change the lens on your mind's eye, rediscover and embrace your new self with love. You move towards wholeness with change. It only gets better. Oh, I got goosebumps, guys.
I love it. How
Oh,
perfect.
that was wow.
Like just the sense of going, the meeting yourself somewhere different,
Hmm.
the accepting yourself in a different way, maybe it's the acceptance of your emotions, starting to learn how to accept your emotions, or starting to learn how to not accept them, not like them, but at least acknowledge them.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Like, and
Mhm.
how that evolution happens, kind of where I was saying, like, the change for me isn't necessarily yet not having that as a behavioral issue. She's still angsty as fuck in there, and she's got something to say. And
Mhm.
until that's resolved, which is where my work still is, then she might spout off.
Yep.
But my work then is to embrace that experience differently and say, okay, I'm not going to shame myself for what I felt.
Mhm.
Right. I can want to adjust my behaviors, but I'm not going to shame myself for what I felt. And that's the change.
Yep.
That just takes time. And we
Yes.
are supported.
We are supported
So
always.
spaces like this, and our practitioners that are supportive, and our hopefully the good people in our life that we've surrounded ourselves from
Yes.
with.
Always supported.
Always.
Okay, my friends.
As always.
Be curious and take care of yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel like there was part of this that you want somebody else to hear, or somebody else who needs a little support, a little reminder that they are never alone in this, please share.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time,
Until next time, take care of yourselves.
bye.